I apologize for being late tonight. I do apologize. Tonight we actually have we have a quick board meeting up front because we are changing officers. It takes a couple minutes, and then we actually go into the second board meeting. So you'll actually be sitting through 2 board meetings tonight.
Okay, let's get rolling. I'd like to call to order the organization meeting of the Penn Trafford School District, December 7, 2015 at 7:08. So the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Lega, can you please take roll call for me?
Mrs. Issing.
Here.
Mr. Pachaski.
Here.
Dr. Koshko.
Here.
Mr. Leonard.
Here.
Mr. Neiman.
Here.
Mr. Petrucci.
Here.
Mr. Stovar.
Here.
Dr. Trey.
Here.
So you have a quorum, Mr. President, and Mr. Matarazzo will get you next time since you're not a board member yet.
Thank you, Mr. Lega.
You're welcome.
At this time, I'd like to appoint myself as temporary chairperson for the organization meeting. And I communicate, I'd like to turn it over to you, Dr. Harris.
Sure. And actually tonight we're very lucky to have District Judge Helen Kistler. She is here tonight to read the certificates of elections, do the oath of office, and read the list of due directors.
We're just going to have them come up in front and have the oath, or would you like me to read did you want me to read the...
If you could read the certificate of elections, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Certificate of election. We, the undersigned, members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the 3rd day of November 2015, in said county, it appears that Philip B. Kachasik was duly elected to the office of school director for a term of 4 years for Penn Trafford Region 3 School District in the county aforesaid, and it is signed by the County Board of Elections Director James Montini. Are we doing these individually, the swearing in, or do you want to do them
Read the
together?
certificates first, and then you can do one swearing in, I think. Probably the easiest.
Okay, and the second certificate of election. We, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the 3rd day of November 2015, in said county, it appears that Scott Kosho was duly elected to the office of school director for a term of 4 years for the Penn Trafford Region 1 School District in the county aforesaid, County Board of Elections Director James Montini. Certificate of election. We, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the 3rd day of November 2015 in said county, it appears that Dallas W. Leonard was duly elected to the office of school director for a term of 4 years for Penn Trafford Region 2 School District in the county aforesaid, County Board of Elections Director James Montini. Certificate of election. We, the undersigned, members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the 3rd day of November 2015 in said county, it appears that James Matarazzo was duly elected to the office of school director for a term of 4 years for Penn Trafford Region 3 School District in the county aforesaid, County Board of Elections Director James Montini. Certificate of election. We, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the 3rd day of November 2015 in said county, it appears that Nick A. Petrucci was duly elected to the office of school director for a term of 4 years for Penn Trafford Region 1 School District in the county aforesaid, County Board of Elections Director James Montini. Probably for the camera, so. Okay, if you'd raise your right hands, please. Repeat after me. I state your name. do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
and that I will discharge the duties
I will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
So sworn. Congratulations. Okay, if you take a look at the next page. Do they keep their certificates of election? You want them to keep the certificates?
Did you sign, you have to sign them?
Well, I have the,
Oh, yeah, they get the certificates of election, you sign the other ones for us, please.
and I don't have my seal with me, so I'll stamp and seal them and bring them back.
That's fine, thank you very much for doing that.
That's it.
Yeah, there's just one to sign.
Did you take the?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
That's it, thank you very much for
I'll
coming.
get them back to you.
Appreciate it very much. We have copies that we will post in the administration building. Those are yours to keep. You're to make copies.
Okay, moving on. The chair will now accept nominations for the office of president.
I nominate Nick Petrucci for president.
Nick Petrucci nominated by Mr. Stovar. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? May I have a motion to close the nominations?
Motion by Mr. Kachasik,
Second.
second by Mr. Costo.
If there are no objections, the chair will conduct a voice vote. All those in favor of Nick Petrucci for president, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Mr. Petrucci has been elected president for 2016. Congratulations, Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you. Mr. Nini, very fine job. Very fine job.
See,
Thank
can you
you.
keep up with it?
I'll do it. It'll be difficult.
We'll keep a good eye on you, Nick, since you don't have much experience.
Okay.
How many years is this for you, Mr. Petrucci?
I'm completing number 36.
36 years school board members.
Thank you for your unanimous support. Very kind of you. Okay, now, next on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion for the chair of vice president.
I nominate Marty Stovall.
A motion for Marty Stover. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? May I have a motion to close the nominations for vice president?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Kachasik. Any second on motion?
Mr. Leonard, Mr. Leonard.
Second by Mr. Leonard. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Congratulations, Mr. Stover. May I have a motion to establish the date, time, and place of regular monthly board meetings and superintendent information meeting for 2016. Establish date, time, place, and regular monthly board meeting, superintendent's information meeting for 2016, and the date, time, as listed on the agenda. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Chesson, need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kosher. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. The board meeting scheduled for Monday, February 1st, 2016 will be held at Advanced Technology Center, the WCC, located at 1001 Technology Drive, Mount Pleasant, PA. This is the old, originally Volkswagen building. And we had our VOTEC meeting there about 3 months ago. And anybody wish to come to our meeting, we're going to have a tour for the board. And if you come to the meeting as a Penn Trafford citizen, you're welcome to come along with us. I think you will find the facility is very impressive, very clean. how big it is. It's a mile and 3/4 if you walk the way around it. So you know how big it's going to be, and it's well worth seeing. It's February 1st is the date, and it's a public meeting for our information meeting. You're more than welcome to attend and come along with us and ask questions. It's very impressive. Okay, may I have the motion to authorize the Secretary of the Board of School Directors, Brett Lego, to use the facsimile signature of Nick Petrucci, new elected President of the Board of School Directors, to further authorize the Secretary to file the required documents for Department of Education.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nemick, second. Second by Mr. Leonard. Any question on motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. May I have a motion to appoint Dr. P.J. Trey as the District Legislative Council Representative and Mrs. Tony Issing as the alternate representative?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Kachasik,
Second.
second by Mr. Costo. Any question on motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Costo, any second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Issing, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, meeting adjourned. Okay. This is our executive session, while we were approximately 10 minutes late. Litigation matters, sale and purchase of property, personnel matters regarding evaluations, arbitration matters, and various personnel issues. The board also met to receive information regarding the PIA classification changes, which is, if you haven't read the papers lately, there's no more, there 4A, there are now 6A, starting effective next year, and I'm sure you've looked in the paper. Penn Trafford football is going to be 5A, and then basketball and baseball too, I think we're 6A. I could be wrong with that. Yeah, we're 6A there. That'll be in the paper, but it's worth reading, and you know how strong our boys did this year. Had a great season, and we will now be placed with not with the real big boys, but we're pretty far. We're 5A as compared to being out of 6A, but that means we're pretty big. And there are 13 6A schools in the new classification setup. There were construction change orders we discussed, high school curriculum we discussed, and the status of the state budget, which you know as well as everyone else knows, is still unsettled. Okay. Roll call, Mr. Please say the pledge, ladies. Roll call, as you said.
Nope, no, let's do the roll call.
You want to do the roll call again? Okay, things have changed. You're correct. Roll call, Mr. Lego.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Mrs. Issing.
Here.
Mr. Kachasik.
Here.
Dr. Koshko.
Here.
Mr. Leonard.
Here.
Mr. Matarazzo.
Here.
Mr. Nemick.
Here.
Mr. Petrucci.
Here.
Mr. Stovar. Here. Dr. Trey.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay.
Nobody left? That was good.
Okay, we have Dr. Kessler on this. All right, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval minutes for their November 9th, 2015 meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Kachasik, second by Mr.
Dr. Trey.
Dr. Trey.
Any question?
Any question by Mr. Nemick? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, information, Dr. Harris.
Thank you. But first, we're going to start off with our student union representative, Trent Stones.
Thanks, Dr. Harris. As you know, one of my goals was to increase communication between the school about construction to the students. And over the past couple of weeks, some stairwells have been closed without informing the students whatsoever. And so we've had to adjust our schedules without any prior knowledge before. So we kind of just showed up to the stairwell, it was closed, and then we had to back around and go across the school in order to get to our class. So if there's any possible way that there will be stairwells or hallways closed due to construction, if you could put it on the announcements or something like that, we would greatly appreciate that. And the keystone testing added to the confusion. Other than that, I don't have anything. Our students are busy at CAP, and we are ready for winter break. Any questions? All right.
Next, we want to get to our favorite time of the month, and that's when we honor all the students of the month. And we're going to start off with our elementary school and our elementary school principal. He has two different schools.
So which one are you going to do first?
We will do Trafford Elementary. Andrew Rudder. Andrew, come on up front, buddy. Okay. I would like to introduce Andrew Rudder as this month's elementary student of the month. Andrew is a 5th grade student in Mr. Martinelli's class at Trafford Elementary. Andrew is the son of Terry and R.J. Rudder, who are here with us in the back. And he is also the younger brother to Shelby Rudder. I believe Shelby's not here, correct?
Yes, she wants to stay home.
Shelby is a 7th grade student at Trafford Middle School. Talking with Andrew, he enjoys spending time building, creating a variety of objects with his Legos, as well as playing Minecraft, as he talks about the majority of the time. Andrew says he likes when his imagination takes over and new objects are created. Andrew says he enjoys attending Trafford Elementary. He likes all of his subjects and being around his friends. Andrew says his teachers are really nice and helpful. They know how to make the day interesting. Andrew has made great gains in the past few years while at Trafford Elementary. We are very proud of him. Mrs. Chesky, the school librarian, states Andrew is a kind-hearted student with an engaging personality and terrific sense of humor. Andrew displays natural public speaking and storytelling ability, leaving his audience wanting to hear more. Andrew listens attentively, asks thoughtful questions, and is eager to learn and shows a genuine interest in others. His respectfulness and positive attitude make him a wonderful role model. Mr. Martinelli, his homeroom teacher, says Andrew has made many positive strides towards having a successful 5th grade school year. He is a very well-mannered boy with a positive attitude. He doesn't hesitate to ask questions. If he doesn't understand something, he doesn't hesitate to allow fellow classmates if they need help as well. He's a hard worker and is eager to learn. Finally, Andrew said he is excited for the holidays, as well as the new Star Wars movie that will be released on December 18th, as he informed me many times. I asked him if he was going. He looked me dead in the eye and says, "Of course I am." Andrew, may the force be with you, buddy. And we are very proud, and congratulations on being this month's Student of the Month.
Congratulations. Star Wars, I enjoyed it myself.
I have all the movies.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Congrats, Andrew Rudder, for being selected Student of the Month, Trafford Elementary School for the month of December 2015. Great job, young man.
Thank you.
Okay, moving up the street 3.5 miles away, we have Kate Malley. Come on up, Kate. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Kate Malley of Level Green Elementary as this month's Student of the Month. Kate is a 5th grade student as well in Mrs. Brelier's class. She is the daughter of Stephanie and Patrick Malley, who are here with us as well. And is also the sister to Bridget, who is a junior at Seton Hill University, Colleen, who is a freshman at Seton Hill University, and Grace, who is a 3rd grade student at Level Green Elementary University. Kate is an outstanding student. She is a part of our Spectrum program and enjoys such activities as acting, theater, and singing. Kate has participated in many plays at the Trafford Theater and currently has a major role in the Level Green Presbyterian Church play, Out of the Box Christmas, which is a play about a play, and Kate plays the director of the play. That's about a play. Who is Mrs. Strickland. She's very excited to perform in the next few weeks. Ms. Kelly, Kate's 3rd grade teacher, a few years ago when she had Kate, that's whenever they first came to Level Green. She said, I had Kate when she first came to Level Green. She got along with everyone in the class and was quickly everyone's friend. She enjoyed doing our dance-offs at recess time. She still is one of the best 3rd grade writers that I've ever had in my classroom and is such a positive influence on her peers. I would take 18 Kate Malleys in my classroom any day, and glad to have my 2nd Malley this year, which is Grace. who is in Ms. Kelly's classes also. Other staff members have stated Kate is a hardworking and dedicated student. Kate's determination and work ethic are demonstrated in everything she does. She puts tremendous effort, careful thought, and imagination into her schoolwork. Kate is self-disciplined, responsible, and respectful. Her integrity is something to be proud of. We cannot say enough about Kate. She is an excellent student, and more importantly, she is thoughtful and caring of others. Congratulations, Kate, on being this.
I want to say that your dad grew up with my son, and your Aunt May grew up with my daughter, okay, and your grandparents, super nice people, live in the street down below. Very easy to get along with, and you come from a very good family. Congratulations to you.
We have Mr. Sullivan from Trafford Middle School.
Thanks, Dr. Harris. I'd like to introduce you Josh Zigorovich. Josh is an 8th grade student at Trafford Middle School. He's here with his mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Zigorovich. Josh is a quiet kid, but ultra focused on school. In fact, when I called him down to my office to congratulate him and tell him that he was this month's student of the month, he thanked me, stuck out his hand and shook my hand and then said, "Okay, thanks, I got to get back to class." Which I said, no, sit down, we have to talk something. And when I talked to his father, he said the same thing, that Josh is just very focused on school. It's important to him. So it comes as no surprise that Josh is a high honor student and has been a very good student at Trafford Middle School in his 3 years there. He's currently taking 2 advanced classes, advanced geometry being one of them, one of the more rigorous classes in the school, and currently has a 101%. His other grades are spectacular. A couple 99s, I think his lowest grade is a 96. Very strong student academically. Outside of school, he enjoys playing baseball, basketball, and exercising. Last year, he played basketball for the school, and this year, he plans on participating on the track team. He also enjoys hanging out with his friends as long as he's being active. He's happy. Josh said right now he plans on being an accountant. That's what his interests are, but knows that he wants to do something with numbers, as math is his favorite subject. His teachers say the following things about him: that he's a leader, always respectful, willing to show when he doesn't understand something, and asks for clarification. I think that's big for an 8th grader. Always takes thinking to the next level. I've not had a student of Josh's caliber in a while. He participates fully in his education. Another comment: he participates regularly in class and contributes with information on discussions that are outside of class content on a consistent basis. Josh is dominating the class with his participation. Josh always volunteers for answers. He will always ask questions that other students are afraid to ask. He's looking for a grasp of the concept. He shows a desire to learn, and he's the type of student that every class needs to have. Josh, congratulations. Stay focused. We appreciate you being a student at Trafford Middle School.
Just so you know, Josh's grandfather Steve taught in this building. I used to deliver his great-grandparents' paper, Post-Gazette, in the morning up next to Trafford Elementary School. And I taught your grandmother my first year ever taught, and your Aunt Patty, too. I can both together. Okay, well, Josh, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And finally, for our high school, we have Mr. Toya.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. The high school student of the month for December is 11th grade student Jessica Deutsch. Jessica goes above and beyond the regular excellence of academics that you see in the high school so often. Pat Blahovic, our school nurse and our CAP program manager, says Jessica has a kind and giving heart. She is responsible and follows through in all of her commitments. She is always willing to volunteer for whatever needs to be done. Jessica is sincere in her efforts, as it is never about her, but always about the greater cause. Jessica's involvement is quite intensive as she focuses on giving to others. Just to list some of the things that she's involved with in the school, treasurer of both the Astronomy Club as well as the CAP program, which is our community action program where all of our volunteers come from. The vice president of the Student Union, which organizes all of the class activities. Chair of the Special Olympics Committee, as well as chair of the Abby's Project, which she worked with our life skills students on a project for the intensive care unit at Children's Hospital by making care packets for the patients and parents. She is also a member of the National Honor Society and is very active in her church. A few of the teachers had the following to say about her. Mrs. Shula, her AP English teacher, Jess is very vivacious. She is willingly engaged in even the toughest readings during class. She even created a group to promote equal rights between the sexes called the Feminist Company. She's an exuberant presenter, bringing everyone along with her on the quest for education and knowledge. She is a student from whom I learn on a daily basis, and her energy recharges me. She helps others, always keeps a positive attitude, and works hard every day without ceasing. Mrs. Fallon, our chemistry teacher, says, I've been fortunate to have Jess for 2 years in a row. Once in my Chem 1 class, and again this year in Chem 2. She's a great kid and a really good student. Jess has a great attitude towards just about everything in life. She is always in a good mood and comes to class every day ready to give it her best shot, her best effort. Jess has a unique sense of humor and would much rather make fun of herself than make fun of others. She's a favorite with her classmates and her teachers as well. Mrs. Elbow from our world language Spanish teacher says, I have the honor of having Jessica in my 8th period Spanish 3 honors class every day. She is the model student that one would want to have in their classroom. She never complains and smiles through every single assignment. She is always willing to lend a helping hand when a fellow student needs help on her classwork. I consider myself lucky this year to have her in my class. And finally, I talked to her brother, Aaron, who Jess also has an older brother, Alex, who I think is at Ohio State now, graduated last year, very involved. Aaron had a few things to say about his sister as well. Just so you know, Aaron, you do have some pretty big shoes to fill, both your brother and sister. Aaron, who's in 9th grade, had this to say. One of the best things about my sister's character is the influence it has had on me. As a 9th grade student, I had a lot of important decisions to make at the beginning of the school year. What classes to take, what clubs to join, how should I approach this new school? My sister helped me through all of this. She told me to take honors classes, the hardest classes, because it's important to challenge yourself as the best student you can be. She also urged me to join CAP because she said the community service is the best way to help your own town and give back to its residents. Overall, she taught me the high school gives you so many opportunities to be your best and help your community. As principal, I can't say enough about Jessica and all that she does as a role model that we want all of our students at Penn Trafford High School to be, both academically and socially. She puts others first, making this world a better place. Congratulations to her and her family.
Great volunteer work, young lady. That's very nice. Don't change anything. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, her brother actually, did he win 2 years ago?
See, I remember.
That's what we're trying to
Can I share one other thing too? With this CAP program that she's so valued at, I just got a note today from one of the organizations, the VA hospital that we donate to, and it says, hello student, staff, and parents. On behalf of myself and my fellow veterans, I want to send out a heartfelt thank you for everyone that took part in the donation drive for the VA hospital. After everything was donated, the total came to $9,527, which was the highest donation in Western Pennsylvania. This donation will go a long way to help our veterans in need. Sometimes thank you just doesn't seem to be enough. You all should be proud of all the work you've done. Thanks, Michael Doherty, the volunteer services. So just one of the examples that the students, along with Jessica, do for the community. So thank you again.
And actually, we're going to take a few moments to have our students of the month get a picture for the press. If they can come up front over to our lovely background. Congratulations. And if the family wants to come up and get pictures, feel free. And family, you're more than welcome to stay for the whole meeting, or you're more than welcome to leave. I don't think we've ever had a family stay, so. But thank you so much, and then enjoy your evening. Thank you. Next, we have building update, and we have Mr. Inglaze.
I have Hank and Renee here from Axis and Macera. They'll give the update. I just want to say a few things relative to the schedule. The auditorium is a lot of work has been done the last couple of weeks, and we're getting close to being done with the auditorium. We're shooting for early January. The seating is being installed right now. The flooring is going down in the other areas. So we still need a couple more weeks in there, but we think that we'll be able to turn it over. They'll be able to turn it over to the school in early January, which coincides with when our musical production starts, and then we can get the practices going in there. So we'll look forward to that. And the other area that I want to update you on is our gymnasium, the annex area. We do have a setback there. The concrete there is still too moist to lay the wood floor down. In order to lay the wood floor down, you have to have a moisture content of 85% or less. We're hovering around 90% right now, so we're trying to dry it out. We're doing some testing again this week to see if it's dropped a little bit so we can get the flooring installed there. So once that drops at 85%, we'll get the flooring in and hopefully get that area done. There has been significant progress in there as well. I would anticipate that's probably closer towards the end of January, is my guess, maybe early February, but it's just hard to say. We don't know when the moisture content will be ready for us to start the flooring. So after that, I'll let you two handle the rest. You got it, Renee? Hank?
Do it right here.
Steve, where do you want them?
That's fine. Close up, great. Okay, you want to start or want?
You can
Okay, the construction update, as Scott said, talked about the auditorium a little bit. We do have the reflective sound panel installation complete. For those of you who miss Scott's weekly joke about being partly cloudy in the auditorium, it is full on cloudy right now, so I'm sorry you're missing that one. The lighting is complete, the stage ramp is complete. They are going to have to get the handrail installed back there, and other than that, like Scott said, the flooring's going down, the seats are going in. The Audion door that we are replacing has been installed. They started getting the patching done of the wall where they had to take out the old one. Let's see. Oh, the sound wall panels. Those are the panels that are going to go on the wall along both sides of the auditorium. Those have started. The stage rigging is now complete, and lights and ceiling grid are complete in the Audion. It kind of looks really nice in there. On the second floor, we are still continuing some punch list of some areas from this last summer. The guidance area, the demolition is complete. We did have to replace the beam in there. That is now in place. All the rough-in, being plumbing and electrical, that is now complete. I'm happy to report that preschool, the new one, is now turned over. They are in there with the exception of the stone cap and the ornamental fencing that's going on the outside of the playground.
And I believe the stone cap was completed today, and the ornamental fencing is supposed to be going this week. We shall see.
I like going on vacation. Sorry, I lost my, as Scott said, the annex gym flooring, we are having some moisture issues, and the GC is trying to take care of that right now. We have in the new locker rooms, which were your old wrestling room, all the ceilings are in there, are complete. The drywall finishing has started, and you got about 75, I'm sure it's more than that today, but as of Friday, it was 75% completed of all the ceiling grid in that area. Your fitness center, all of the painting is complete, all your electrical rough-in is complete, and now we're just waiting for the floor installation.
And they've started that, but it's not complete yet.
In the TV studio, which was the old preschool, demolition has started, and as you all know, once we get approval of the change order request, we can go ahead and get that work going, get the beam ordered that's going to have to go in there. And as far as site, probably what's new since last month is the auditorium parking lot's done, with the exception of the striping that has to be done. The new tennis court parking lot's complete, again with the exception of striping. And we did, the GC did perform a temporary parent drop-off over here on the end, and the completion of that will be later on down the road. And the electrical contractor has finished all the exterior building lights, and I'm sure everybody has noticed how much brighter it is out there. I'm only talking about change orders.
The change orders that are on the agenda for approval this month amount to $50,018.07. There are several. We're adding some exhaust fans in the chemistry area. We're adding a what's called an A-phone. It's a security system portion at the nurse's entrance to allow a visitor to call in and let the nurse open the door remotely. We have a deduct change order. We're reducing some of the amount of glass that's going in the cafeteria corridor walls. The gymnasium decorative line stripe we did, but it ended up being a zero cost change. That actually looks nice. It's finished now. If anybody is down that area, they can take a look at that. The auditorium lobby entrance one, that's one of the larger ones. That's a not to exceed number. The construction manager is going to track that one. And like they tracked the wall that we had to rebuild at the annex, we feel that this number will be lower as that one was. So this will be a not to exceed number. This was an area that when they started the construction, and it was that exterior sidewalk space that's under a roof out there, and we're making it an interior space. When they went to install the glass storefront on there, it came to the realization that that slab is not level. It was sunken in and sloped out, and so this is work that has to do to make that level so that the storefront will work and the flooring can be installed. There's another one here is a stage void infill. That one we feel should be substantially less than that. That's another one that we're asking for approval tonight, and we'll do a T&M not to exceed, and it should come in much lower than that number. Then there's the TV studio beam ad that was discussed, and some small things. There was an existing sewer line that was damaged that needs to be replaced that was found, and some return air grills in the auditorium. Like again, the total was just over $50,000 this month. It puts the total contingency at $468,000. We're well within the total allotted, and we don't see any issues coming up that would make us go over your allotted contingency numbers. Are there any questions with any of those?
This is 2 months in a row with $50,000. Is this a trend developing here? As we head toward the final conclusion of this project, I didn't expect to see these numbers as large as they are. So what's your feeling? What's going on? Are we going to come into January with another large build to, we were actually looking to have some of that money left over to do other things, and it isn't there to use up totally, so I just wanted to get your take on what's going on.
My take on it is that a lot of these were numbers that the paperwork is catching up with, and so we've had 2 months of substantial numbers in a row here. I don't see that continuing. We're looking at some deduct change orders for next month. I don't know if the total of next month will be a deduct, but it shouldn't, at this point, should not be in that range. And I don't see a lot of that coming down the road. Time will tell, but I believe the last 2 months with a lot of makeup paperwork things from items that have been out there for quite some time.
And as far as Macero, how far in advance are you looking at things coming down the road to see? How far, when do you notice stuff like this? Is it months in advance? Maybe you can give us more of a heads up as far as these large numbers. You see what I'm asking? You know what's coming down the project. How far in advance are you guys planning for that with the general? So you can find stuff like this and let us know.
Knowing that it was a very fast-paced summer, our project team didn't have the time to really dive in to find out all of the future work that's going to be going on. However, the project team we have now, knowing that it is starting to slow down, we are starting to get more into the drawings on work that is to be completed even this summer. And we're looking at that right now to make sure that we have all the ducks in a row rather than, being proactive rather than reactive. So hopefully,
At this point in time, how far out have you looked, and do you see any larger numbers like this coming down the road?
As an example, Phil, we're going to start demoing the kitchen area this summer, and we've already looked at the drawing extensively there, and we've already seen some issues there that we may have to deal with. So they are already looking at some of the summer work right now, and trying to figure out if there are any issues that are going to come up. And sometimes we won't know until we really get into that area. Is that fair to say?
typically yes, but what we're trying to do now is trying to look at the work that's going to be happening this summer and planning for it now rather than in April, May, or June. So we're doing that now.
Obviously, the further in advance you find things like this, it gives us more flexibility as far as what we can do. A lot of times when something comes up as a change order, we have no recourse but to allow the general on site to move ahead and do that because we're backed up against time. Given some time, we might be able to actually get some of this. Are we allowed to do that, Mike? We would actually be allowed to get some of this quoted rather than, just to see. That's just my opinion. You see what I'm asking? Yes,
We do have, Macero is maintaining an exposure log, so there's a number of items that are kind of out there that could potentially be costly to the district. So those are identified and listed, and we can certainly get you a copy of that.
I don't know about the rest of the board, but I'd love to see stuff like that.
I have no problem. It is something that I can review. It is provided in addition to, we are going back, looking at some of the answers, some of the questions that have been answered where credit should have been given and have yet not, or have yet to be given. So that's something I'm also tracking down right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd just like to say, with El Nino giving us so far a fairly warm December, is our completion, is this enhancing our time frame for completion? Are we still headed for September to be, as our goal for?
I think right now, the biggest hurdle that we have is the kitchen. We are trying to see if there's a possibility of getting that area sooner. There are a lot of unforeseen items in there that we'd like to tackle now rather than later. That way we can ensure that come August, the kids are going to be able to have food. So we're still on track.
As Renee said, the biggest issue is the kitchen. If we can get that resolved, we are looking at taking over that kitchen area in the beginning of March. That's what we're exploring that option. And if we do that, the kids will be provided with a limited lunch selection. We offer lunches, but it would be scaled back because we wouldn't have a full kitchen. We have a modified kitchen. And if we do that, take it over in March, the contractors feel much more comfortable in getting the project done by the end of August.
Is that the outside work, is that enhancing outside work in warm weather?
There's not much left in the outside. There's not much exterior work to do.
There's
not
machines.
much that's left on the outside. Things that are left on the outside are summer work. We have to do some more paving and some planting grass seed and grading and that type of thing. So we have the luxury of being dried in everywhere where the additions are. So the weather's, although we've had a nice fall here, it hasn't affected the schedule because we didn't need the nice weather because we were already dried in.
Yes, sir.
Todd Devin, that's already, the submittals have been
They are approved. I have spoken with Todd Devin because usually they are, I hate to say this, the weakest link.
Right.
So I have already started conversations with them now. All the equipment has been ordered. They were asking a couple of questions regarding color selections. We're still trying to work that out right now. But other than that, everything's ordered. We're trying to get them to get it here.
Yeah, if you plan on moving it, well, that's not gonna stop. You're gonna close the kitchen down even though you don't have the equipment for it?
demo the existing kitchen and recreate a modified kitchen in the existing cafeteria, which is some coolers and a sink and just to do things like that.
Thank you.
The exposure list that you referred to,
Yes.
Are there any great big items on there? I mean, what kind of money amount are you looking at on this exposure list at your best guess? And I know it's early and it's a guess. Tough question.
I'm gonna say you're rounding about 60,000 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and to put it into perspective, where the contingency set aside for change orders was what, almost 1.3 million. We're 70% through this project, and we're at 470,000. And some of that is taken off. Like I said, out of the 50,000 this month, it's probably going to, after the T&M work, it'll probably be more like 40,000. The wall was 20,000, about 20,000 under what was approved. So, you know, there's money coming off of that. So as far as where we are with contingency, we're doing very, very well. Much better than I had actually hoped for.
We didn't present the wall in the gymnasium that looked like it was going to fall over, and we told you that was going to cost somewhere around $65,000 or $70,000. That was the estimate, and we're getting a number. It's done now. We're getting numbers in the mid-40s for that. So but we still haven't approved that change order. That will be coming next month.
Well, that's what I mean. Like Phil mentioned, now we used to get like $16,000, $20,000 a month. Now we're looking at $50,000 a month. So that's a little scary. That can get you a lot closer to our limit to keep that pace up.
Any
Anything else, Scott?
Any other questions from board members? Thank you.
All right, thank you. School calendar, we're going to improve that tonight. It almost looks identical to last year's. Our first day of school, Thursday, August 25th, which is still 7 days before Labor Day. We're going to do the 2 days plus the 5 full days of a week. Our last day is May 26th, which is a Friday before Memorial Day. It does look different because of Christmas falling December 23rd is a Friday. That's usually our last day off. Before we get the whole week there, so a little bit different, but not any big changes. Program of studies for the high school, we're going to actually hold off on that this month, and we're going to actually talk about that next month, actually approve it. We have more details on some information. And PTARC. We had a PTARC meeting this evening. Do you want to discuss some of the things at the PTARC meeting, Mr. Pusey, or?
Well, the things that we hit on was took a little time, was the appointing, first of all, trying to change the time from 4 o'clock on Monday, because one community in particular had a hard time getting people to come. And the other small community also, they don't want to change because it meets their schedule. So that's at a standstill right now. We're trying to discourage some wording between official and representative, and it's we got to get a neutral. We have different solicitors, you have different opinions on who to appoint for different communities, and one says they have no problem with the way it is right now, and the other one, they're making a little bigger stipulations. But we're very healthy. We're $11,000 ahead of last year as far as our fund balance goes, and Linda Byers is doing a very good job.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good events we've been having. I've really enjoyed.
Participation is very high.
She has a lot of great ideas, which is great. And one of her goals was to get more people taking classes, because the more people who are taking classes, that not only benefits them, but also benefits PTARC and the whole township.
She's full of energy. Very hard worker.
And in addition to that, we also have two of our township commissioners, Mr. Harrison and Mr. Warzing. I know they signed in for the visitors, but I also asked them whether they want to come and speak to the board.
You want to come together? You can speak together individually. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay.
We'll come up after me. I just want to thank you for your time, Dr. Harris, Chairman Petrucci. Congratulations, everybody. Fellow school board there. You guys, congratulations. Our quick Christmas wish for this year is disposition of the PTARC building. And everyone on this board has probably dealt with that over the past year. We've had conversations offline with school board members. We've talked to Dallas. Dr. Harris, we met with you, and Mr. Nemec, and your solicitor met with our solicitor, but collectively no one's been able to come together on an agreement on what to do with this building. Right now, the last move we made was put it back into municipal use. We had some potential ideas for it, but they may not come to fruition. The building has a legacy. Originally, it was intended to run many projects out of that, and Nick, you probably remember some of that. We were going to move the PTARC people there, their offices, and that never happened, despite putting thousands of dollars into that place and thousands of hours of work from our municipal public works, Bruce Light staff.
VOTEC.
Never quite worked out that way. So VOTEC, right. So right now we're at a point where I think it's important to get that building back on the tax rolls in the community. It's a benefit to the school district and to the township. It's a prime piece of property. You've all had an estimate, I guess, or appraisal of the property. It's probably worth close to $250,000 the way it sets. The taxes on that, Larry has some numbers he can run by you what that would generate just as it sets now for the township and the school district. But we would like to have some type of, we're not asking for an answer tonight obviously, because there's a lot of variables in this and a lot of different ideas, but to have and I won't be on the board next year. I'm a lame duck, so I'm here preaching for the next generation of next year's commissioners, but a representation of the township with the school board and some serious talk about getting this thing put back on the tax rolls, whether it's selling it, and coming up with the problem on our board right now is recouping the loan money that we have, 40-something thousand dollars, Larry?
Yes, about 46,000.
Our board wants to recoup that 46,000 because we've been paying on it, the parking lot's been paid, a lot of work's gone into it. So whatever sale price is agreed on, we'd have to decide how we're gonna do that with paying off the loan. That seems to be the sticking point with a lot of people. So I'm opening it up for Larry. Larry, if you wanna come up and add to that. He's going to be here next year. It's going to be his baby. It's going to be one of those balls in the air that hopefully doesn't hit the ground. So, Mr. Harrison, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Paul. And again, congratulations to all the re-elected and newly elected school directors.
And you also.
And certainly a big hello to all you school directors, administration, personnel, solicitors sitting down there in the end, and Sean. It's been a while since I've been in this little group of people. As Paul said, we're trying to work with the school directors, the school board, to put a piece of property back on the tax rolls. That property has not been assessed since back, last time it was assessed was when it was a Penn area public library. It had a value assessment of $43,000. Even at that low assessment, that gives to the school board or the school district about $3,400 a year. Now, if that piece of property, as Paul said, is a pretty valuable piece of property, and if it can be sold and developed, certainly that assessment is going to go far above $43,000. And it's going to mean many more dollars coming back into the school district as well as Penn Township. And anyone here who says they don't need money, I don't think you want to run for re-election the next time around. So let's try to work together and find a way to make this happen. There was some miscommunication, egos, or something that got in the road in the past. I'd like to think we could all forget about that and start anew. And I would ask or suggest, if we could, to appoint a 3-person committee from the school board, a 3-person committee from the township, and sit down and work out a process by which we can get this property back on the tax rolls and keep everyone, all the interested parties, financially whole. There should be no reason that can't be done. Keeping in mind, school district and the township, we're taking money out of the taxpayers' pockets, the same taxpayers in the township. Is there any reason that we can't save some money, get rid of that loan, put the property back on the tax rolls, and make it produce? I think if you ask any taxpayer in the township, they would say, why haven't you already done it?
Can I interrupt, Larry? Can I ask a question?
You can ask all kinds of questions. I only hope I can answer them.
Back in July, the school district sent a proposal to the commissioners. And we proposed that we would take back the building, we would pay off the loan, and the only thing is we would take out the payback of the loan from our registration fees with PTARC over a term of 5 years. Now, Linda Byers said that would be feasible. We never heard back from the commissioners on that proposal, and 2 days later, the commissioners decided that we are going to take it back and we're going to use it for municipal purposes. Can you tell me, first off, why we never got a response to our proposal, and secondly,
No, I can't, Rich. In all honesty, because I really don't know. I'm not trying to be smart with you, but I really don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't friggin' care now, because we're in a situation where we need to move forward. And not look back where we've been.
That situation right there wouldn't have cost the taxpayers any money as it is costing now, with the township paying the bills on it, because the money would have came from PTARC, because it would have reduced our annual membership fees. I just don't, now it's the township has it, and a month ago or so, it comes up in the paper that all of a sudden that this is a big issue, that we want to get this rolling, get it rolling, when we wanted to get it rolling, but you guys said that we're taking it back. We're gonna make it work.
Are you willing to go forward, Rich, or do you want to talk about the past?
I don't know.
I mean, as I said at my start, there was perhaps some miscommunication. There may have been some egos that got in the road. I'm not here to defend anyone. I'm here to say, listen, can't we go forward? And how can we best do that?
Okay, Larry, I'm going to make a suggestion. I like your proposal about 3 and 3. I think that makes a lot of sense. And Dr. Harris sit in the middle of it. He's not a voting person, but 3 and 3. Could you put something like that in writing that you want to us and we can discuss? And I could ask who would, on this board, would want to serve on that committee. Okay?
Love to.
Send that, please, to Dr. Harris. And we will, our information meeting in January, we'll go around the table and see if there are 3 volunteers that wish to discuss with 3 township commissioners and what they want to do. And I think that'd be fair to everybody. And Dr. Harris sitting right in the middle of it, and he can also be like,
We would probably have our township manager and 2 commissioners as.
Well, okay, whatever you think.
Because I think that if it was Dr. Harris or his designee and school board members and/or commissioners, you got at least one person who's reachable, shall we say.
Yeah, that is correct. But this why I can think anybody that really has a pain, like Mr. Nimick just mentioned right now, you know, he wanted to be on it to serve in that committee, to express his side, you know, or somebody is more favorable, but however it comes out.
Yeah.
I think that to put it in writing, and we'll get it back to you in writing, this way we know everything is documented.
Right.
And there's no 6-month gap like we have right now.
Right.
And that'll eliminate that.
Right.
I think
It's because the whole thing is, let's try to find a way to make it happen.
I do agree with you, okay, because I want to put that on tax rolls myself, all right? But I just think there's been some miscommunication.
Yep.
I think the best way of doing that, put it in writing, it's right at holiday season now, but starting at the beginning of next year, I think we could see who's interested in volunteering, we go from there.
Works for us, we'd love to do
Put it
that.
in writing and please address the Dr. Harris.
And it'll be forthcoming.
Okay.
Thank you.
One more question. Are you able to do 3 people on the committee to do this? We only have 5 commissioners.
But we have 2 commissioners and our township manager.
Township manager, so that won't be, thank you.
So that won't be a quorum, having the 3
No,
commissioners?
because there's 5 commissioners.
2 commissioners and the.
2 and the township manager.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? And Rich, I'm going to try to come down on you. I'm just saying, we can look back and we can all find a culprit or someone that maybe dropped the ball, but let's try to
And
do it.
I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of a little upset because I understand you wanted to get it rolling, would like to get it rolling too, but instead, nobody approached the school board about getting it rolling. It came out in a public meeting, it was in the paper that, and to be honest with you, it read like we're the school board's a stumbling block in it, and I took that to heart.
Well, the paper's here. If there was if there was anything that needs to be corrected, I can guarantee you there's no commissioner that wants to in any way delay or not move forward. And there hasn't been for the last 9 months or so. I can guarantee you that.
It would have been nice to hear it from the commissioners, approaching Dr. Harris, or I was board president at the time, myself, instead of having to get the information in the paper that, you're trying to get this going again. That's.
No. I'm not even going to go,
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I'm not going to go back because it doesn't do any good.
Just put it in writing and we'll try to get things rolling, okay?
Hey, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
And Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I had a couple of things with Dr. Since I have my F, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dr. Trey has some, I just want to briefly share and I'll
Yeah,
pass
this
it
will be
on.
very brief at this stage up. This is the results of 6 weeks ago at the conference, and it happens once a year. I'm going to go through the bulk of it. You can read it on your own. There were 30 initiatives on educational projects and performance that were produced at this conference at Hershey. 13 of them seem to be innovative. You can read through them and look at them. We shared the information. I sat in each of the 13 sessions out of the 30, and I shared the information with Pat and passed it on as he felt was appropriate. But the key, really, the only thing really to talk about briefly and reference down the line, there were 5 educational sessions that I thought it's on the first page, I thought were somewhat worthwhile for us long-term. 2 of them, that would be capital campaigns in Williamsport Area School District and the Conestoga Valley School District. They're really to the forefront in trying to generate income to take away from taxpayer expense in their own districts.
Williamsport's been able to maintain a community process by which they're able to promote capital funding, capital campaigns. And right now they're paying out of local effort basically for a $2.7 million stadium upgrade, all because of the efforts they've done there. And I have a list of a variety of ways which they did that. At some stage, maybe we'll have to deal with that issue. Right along in the other lane was Conestoga Valley School District. Yes, sir.
I don't mean to jump in, but Dr. Harris and I serve on the Community Education Foundation, which one of our goals is to generate funds. If you have those ideas, send them our way, and we'll take them to our board for discussion.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That'd be great. So that would be, Conestoga Valley is the second one on there, and they got into the business community. So I'll pass that on to you. So that's 2 out of the 5. Another one dealt with pre-K partnerships. You never can tell where we are at some stage online as we evolve with our educational effort. Erie Public Schools are trying to do something. They partner with colleges. That's a growing trend at this particular stage. And it's something we could look at. They took a pre-K program, they negotiated with the association on teaching capabilities, and they were able to take a half-day pre-K program. First, they created a pre-K program, then a half-day pre-K program they were able to pay for as a full-day program to support their entire educational program. That improves student readiness and also performance. That was the second category. The last 2 were we've always been skeptical about our student profiles the state requires. So we had the experts from Penn State. That was the Center for Evaluation and Educational Policy, and they did an overview of the profile, and they tore it apart as far as its value, meanings, its general interpretation, identified all the areas where they had problems with it purely from a statistical perspective, and its value and its arbitrary nature. So you can take a look at that if you wish. It's a good defense mechanism for those of us who are beaten up by a profile that is questionable. The last thing was the Pennsylvania Early Education Inventory. This came out of PDE. It's a massive structure. It's put together to tie together kindergarten readiness and pre-K readiness. And both instruments are well created. They deal with some like 30 key indicators, and it's there available to districts. The only problem with it is that there is data collection that we owe the state. If we pass it on to the state, what may happen with that data is somewhat problematic. I'm not sure how that could be used for us or against us at this stage. But there's another tool which just come to the forefront in the last year. It's there. Thought it'd be innovative. And that's it. The rest of the stuff you can look at. Just 2.5 pages of material there about what went on, and that's all I have to add.
Thank you. And I have 2 more quick points. One with our foundation. We are having a purse bash. It's still funny just announcing that. I've learned more about purse bash than I have in my whole entire life, but that's on January 16th. So please buy your tickets and look for information on our website as well as the foundation's website under PennTraffordFoundation.org.
I'll add to that, that's our major fundraiser for the year, so we'd appreciate community support for it. Every single dollar there that we earn goes right back into the school district.
Will you bring tickets to like maybe the next meeting or so?
I can bring
We buy
tickets or...
that late?
You can buy them that night. We'd like
No,
to
no,
sell
no,
it
like
before that.
our first meeting in January.
I'm sure Dr. Harris can get some.
I can bring some tickets. I can send out a questionnaire, how many people want to answer. All right. And finally, I just wanted to thank the whole entire community for all the support they gave our football team. And this was a great event. It was a great season. Every week was more exciting than the week before, if that's possible. And it just led up to a great day at Heinz Field, and it was just amazing to see all the green and gold in the stands. So I really think that was wonderful. I know they just Rue Sports. Steve just gave me a copy of the game, which was great. This was the Pine Richmond game they did for Rue Sports, which was also dynamic. But it was fun. It was fun, the whole crowd, the bonfire, the great participation we had that night. Every single thing, the assemblies, the things that they did at the high school, the elementary school, the middle school, all the teachers were awesome, so I really thank them, and it was just great to see. It was truly proud just to be in Penn Trafford for this time period.
I know Dr. Harris is really into it. That's good. That's very good.
Is it true that Coach Rowan had a baby like shortly after that game?
The next, you know what he did? He had a baby girl the next day, so I sent him an email saying, well, you had your big win after all. So.
Yeah, I heard that like yesterday or the day before.
I think this is number 4, I think.
Yeah, it is number 4, yeah.
God bless him. All right, well, thank you, and I think after my long list, I do apologize for that.
All right, I'd like to entertain a motion for the Treasury Report for the month of October to be approved and presented by part of the official minutes.
So moved.
So moved by Dallas. Any second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cascio. Any question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Motion to approve the list of bills for the month of December.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Dissing.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nemi. Question? Question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Old business? No old business. I discussed the executive session. We'll go to new business. Athletic Secretary, Mr. Cascio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to give permission to the indoor track team to compete in out-of-state events. This will not require overnight stays.
All right. I have motion, Mr. Cascio. Any second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kuchasik. Any
Question.
Question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to accept the following resignations. Paul Conrad, AV Director, Penn Trafford High School, effective immediately. Tony Zimmerman, volunteer football coach, effective immediately. And Perry Zona, volunteer football coach.
Motion by Mr. Cascio, second by Mr. Leonard. Any question on motion?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to deploy the following personnel. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation, the acceptance of Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days. We have several folks for the spring musical and a department chair at Language Arts as listed below.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cascio, second by Mr. Kuchasik. Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Dr. Cascio.
Apologize.
Budget and Finance, Mr. Kuchasik.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to approve the expenditures for the high school renovation project for the month of November 2015, according to schedule as listed.
Motion, Mr. Cascio, any second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Nemec. Any question?
Question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Move to approve the following change orders as listed and presented.
Motion, Mr. Cascio, second, Mr. Nemec. Any questions?
Question.
Question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to grant permission to advertise jointly with the WIU Joint Purchasing Consortium for the purchase of supplies in the following categories: multi-purpose paper, unleaded gasoline, and diesel fuel.
Motion, second, Mr. Cascio. Any question on motion?
Question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to approve the purchase of new equipment for the fitness center at the high school and 2 new treadmills for Trafford schools at a cost of $54,184.40.
Second.
Second, Mr. Question. Second, Mr. Cascio. Any question?
Question.
Question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
That's all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Cascio. Building and grounds safety, Mr. Leonard.
I have no report, no business tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Employee relations, negotiation, transportation, Ms. Hissing.
Nothing to report, Mr.
Thank you, Ms.
President.
Hissing. Food service, Dr. Trey.
No report.
Okay, personnel and curriculum, Mr. Stovall.
I have a couple things tonight, Mr. President. Move to approve the list of additional substitute teachers and support personnel for the month of December 2015 as listed in Appendix B.
Motion, Mr. Stovall. Second, Mr. Kuchasik. Any question on motion?
Question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to approve the following student teacher assignments. Seton Hill University cooperative professional is Christy Giovanetti. Her student teacher will be Melissa Gherkin. For grade 1, dates will be January 25th, 16 to March 11th of 16. Cynthia Dutt will be taking care of Melissa Gherkin in ML Science from 3/14/16 to 4/29/16. Then from Carlow College, Jill Hawk will be taking the student teacher Mackenzie McGuire for kindergarten from 10/19 of 15 to 12/11 of 15.
Motion, Mr. Stovall. Any second on motion?
Second.
Second, Ms. Hissing. Any question on motion?
Question.
All in favor signify
Hold
by
on,
saying...
we have a roll.
Oh, your real question? Okay, good.
I thought Mrs. Houck, was going to be off next semester. She
taking a...
It's after December.
See the dates?
Yeah.
I apologize.
She's
This
actually,
semester.
we're kind of doing this after they've been here.
Retroactively.
Oh, okay.
See the
I
dates?
apologize.
It's actually October to December. So we're going retroactive.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we get our minutes, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. We missed it, it was missed before. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to approve the following leave request. There are a few FLMLA leaves and an extension of an unpaid leave as listed.
Motion by Mr. Stover, any second on motion? Second by Mr. Kachasik. Any question?
Question?
Question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to employ the following personnel. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation and the acceptance of Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days, as listed below.
Motion, Mr. Stover, any second on motion?
Second?
Second, Mr. Zinski. Any question?
Question.
Question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to approve the following termination. Lisa O'Connor, paraprofessional at Penn Middle School, effective December 2nd, 2015.
Motion by Mr. Stover, any second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Leonard, any question on motion?
Question.
Question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to adopt the 2016-2017 school calendar as recommended by the superintendent and make it a part of the official minutes. The 2016-2017 school year will begin with an in-service day on Monday, August 22nd, 2016, and will officially terminate on June 30th, 2017. The last day of instruction for grades K through 11 will be Friday, May 26, 2017, unless it becomes necessary to extend the school calendar because of weather conditions, emergencies, or other urgent reasons.
Motion, Mr. Stover, any second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Nemick, any questions?
Question?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to adopt the 2016-2017 service employees calendar and make it a part of the official minutes. Calendar with 248 working days and 14 paid holidays makes the work year of 262 days. Yearly employees will be paid for 262 days, including the paid holidays.
Motion, Mr. Stover, any second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kachasik. Mr. Menaraz, we'll give you a second. Any question on the motion?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Stover. Policy, Public Relations, Legislative Title II, Mr. Matarazzo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and file the minutes of the Superintendent's Information Committee meeting held on Monday, November 2nd, 2015.
A motion by Mr. Matarazzo. Need a second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Leonard. Any questions?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I'd like to move to appoint the following Recreation Board representatives. For the Penn Township Rep, Mr. Philip Kachasik and Dr. Scott Koshko. Trafford Borough Rep, Mr. Nick Petrucci. And Penn Borough Rep, Dr. Jay Trey.
I have a motion by Mr. Matarazzo. Any second on the motion?
Second?
Second, Mrs. Issing. Any question on the motion?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Move to appoint the following as PTARC representatives, Mr. Nick Petrucci, Dr. Matthew Harris, and Mr. Greg Cappuccino.
Motion by Mr. Matarazzo. Any second on the motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kachasik. Any questions?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I'd like to move to nominate Mr. Dallas Leonard as the board's candidate to stand for election to the WIU Board of Directors for a term commencing July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2019.
A motion, Mr. Matarazzo. Any second on the motion? Second, by Dr. Koshko. Any question on the motion?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstention?
Abstain.
Abstain. All in favor, motion passed.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Matarazzo. Tax insurance census, Mr. Nimitz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to approve the tax resolution, Act 1 Taxpayer Relief Act, limiting the tax increase for the 2016-17 fiscal year to 3.1%. Copy of this resolution will be filed with the official minutes of this meeting.
A motion by Mr. Nimitz. Any second on the motion?
Second?
Second, Mr. Easton. Any questions?
Question.
Question. All in favor signify by saying aye. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Solicitors, I'm sorry.
Mr. Newman, you done? Excuse me? You done? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President. Yes. That is all I have, Mr. President.
Citizens report.
Nothing to report, sir.
Thank you. PTA representative, Mr. Renier.
Nothing.
No highlight, okay. Bon Natal, everybody, have a nice holiday. See you next year. Motion for adjournment?
Everybody stays.
Sorry.
I had a